Hey everybody, getting a look at the Brooklyn Museum before we were going to go down into the Eastern Parkway-Brooklyn Museum station to check out another example of the most underappreciated art museum in the world until, yet again, I fell down a rabbit hole, and it is mostly to blame because of these figures that you see right here. So we're going to have to go back up, back out, back in time to get a little bit more context on these pieces. And this involves the history of New York, a history of a city in constant motion. You can see that in construction with old buildings being torn down, many of these buildings having beautiful works of art on the facade. So enter our hero, a man named Ivan Karp. Not many people know about him. He was born in the Bronx, raised in Flatbush. He was a gallery owner. He also helped establish pop artists of the 1960s, including Andy Warhol, who we see here. In his earlier unemployed days, he was a self-described rabble-rouser who would roam the streets of New York looking for demolition sites, hoping to save architectural relics from the wrecking ball. So he would start out by himself with shopping carts, but then he would have friends join him. They would form kind of a squad, and they actually came up with names for this squad. One of them was the Sculpture Rescue League. My favorite was Rebel Without Applause, before they finally settled on the Anonymous Arts Recovery Society. The word anonymous was referring to the immigrant stonemasons who crafted these objects, as many of these pieces didn't have inscriptions. They had unconventional ways of obtaining these pieces. By 1962, the group had 125 members who would pay $10 dues. So this money would sometimes be used to bribe foremen on the sites. If the bribery failed, they would sometimes visit the sites at night, accompanied by an attractive rebel queen, as they called her, to distract the watchmen. Okay. It was risky work, but finally Mayor Lindsay gave them a letter of permission to go to these sites. The group became a nonprofit in 1963, which would turn out to be a pivotal year, as this was the infamous year of the demolition of the original Penn Station. The society rescued a couple of objects from Penn Station. Eventually, the society had over 1,500 pieces, so they met with the Brooklyn Museum, who agreed to take in around 400. And this resulted in the creation of the sculpture garden at the museum, which still exists to this day, and where you can see a lot of the pieces, including 2 from Penn Station. Seriously, so many pieces were rescued. Some are still at the Brooklyn Museum, as we'll see in part 2, but you can see even more in Charlottesville, New York, at the Anonymous Arts Museum, which was opened by Karp and his wife, Marilyn. I haven't been, but it's now at the top of my bucket list. I'll report back. For now, stay tuned for part 2.